isn't easy. Two hearts slowly breaking, living the highs and lows. I'm keeping busy. Don't know if we're worth saving. Are we meant to be, or are we second guessing? Would you stay with me if the world was ending?
Alright, so I'm trying to eat up all of the food that I have left in this fridge at this Airbnb. So I have this really big avocado, and it's so good. Like, literally, look at this. That is insane. Throwback to when I used to eat avocados like this. Literally, I would peel them open. You can't really do this with mainland avocados, but it's so easy to peel these ones. Oh my god. Oh my god. Put a little bit of salt on that. Dude, this is so good. Mmm. How is it going, my loves? Today I am coming at you from the big island of Hawaii. This is my first time back on the island in over a year, since my last retreat was not this past September, but before that. This is a big special trip for me. I've been here for 6 days, and I'm heading out this evening back to Austin, Texas. Can't wait to see Luke and Silo Nelson. I'm just gonna jam and talk about Hawaii and like what's the deal here. If you're new to my channel, there's a plethora of videos of how I dropped out of school, I sold almost everything that I owned, I moved to Hawaii when I was 21 years old or something. I won't go into the whole story. Most of you who are here have been with me this entire time, or almost this whole time, which is profound and so crazy, and I'm so grateful for you being here with me, like growing up with me, doing life with me. So today I want to talk about my connection with this place on planet Earth. Back when I was hiking the Appalachian Trail, I was previously living in Hawaii, and then I took 3 to 6 months off to hike the Appalachian Trail and was on the mainland, and then I came back to live here again. And when I was on the trail, I remember thinking about Hawaii every single day. And it was just this constant part of my consciousness that was just like, Hawaii, 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 oh, Hawaii, longing for Hawaii, I miss Hawaii. And then I got back here and I moved into such a beautiful house overlooking the ocean, which ended up having mold in it, and I ended up moving back to the mainland to heal, which, thank God that I did that, because my health is better than it's ever been. And I know that I'll receive questions of like, how are you doing now with mold here, visiting and all of that, and I feel good. Pretty sure there's mold in this place. I've seen black speckles, and I feel like a little bit foggy, but like no congestion, no head pressure, none of the intensity that I dealt with previously. And so just wanted to share that with those of you who are curious. I know I've been getting a lot of questions on Instagram since I've been sharing stories here. So then I moved away, and I kid you not, these 2.5 years of not living here, of being in Colorado and California and now Texas, there is, fuck, I'm gonna cry. There's just such a special connection to this place. It feels like a longing, like a calling me forward to return here, versus a missing and reflecting on the past. There is some remembrance about this part of the planet for me, almost as if in like a past life or past lives or a past civilization of humanity on Earth. Like, I've been here before, so there's also a knowing of there's something for me here in this lifetime that is important. And I have like little tinges of understanding or insight of what that is, what that could be. One is like nature feels healing for pretty much all humans. It's like the little things of living in a home where the doors can be open and it's the same environment, the same climate inside and outside, and it's one of the same. There's more of a connection to this environment, whereas like back in Austin right now, it's cold there, and so we have the heat cranking inside, and you walk outside and it's freezing, and it's this disconnect of like in the home is so disconnected from the outside elements, and here it's and then the sounds and the vibrancy, like everything is so alive here. Something about this feels like it feels easier to like express, and it's so putting it into words. But yeah, this kind of brings me to my next point of what does this mean for me? Because I had my whole Hawaii life, community here, past partner here, everything, and then things shifted and evolved, and I trusted my intuition and led me to Colorado, and then meeting Luke, and I have a relationship, I have a life, I have a puppy, Silo, on the mainland, and I shipped my car over and like all the logistics, and yet every single day there's this calling, this longing. I'm curious, so curious, if you have felt this feeling of home and remembering, and or this feeling of like a calling and knowing of a certain place has something for you, like a code or a message or an experience or something. And I'm curious, yeah, if you have experienced that, if you are experiencing that, and if so, what is that place for you, and what does that feel like? If you can put words to it, I'd love if you share below so we can kind of, yeah, connect on this together. And so the question becomes, what do I do with this longing? Do I completely put my hands up, I surrender, I'm capable, I'm resourceful of figuring out the logistics and getting myself here? And then that brings into play, okay, conversations. Hey, my little family unit, do you guys, you want to come here? You want to do this? Does that align with you? Do we go back to California, which feels like an in-between, because Luke, I know, loves the Matrix, loves restaurants, convenience of the mainland, like getting amongst it, like having options. And I love being literally in the middle of the jungle, no Wi-Fi or sketchy Wi-Fi, like isolated. And so do we find that in between, going back to California, okay, and then I visit here more often, or do I get a place here? And then the long distance? Because as time has gone on, it's so clear that right now my knowing is Luke and I are for each other and committed to this partnership and so happy together and growing and yeah, deepening our connection. And then there's an element of, okay, to bring Silo to Hawaii is a whole process, and it would be one thing for me to be between Hawaii and California or Hawaii and somewhere else, but then there's the element of my little baby Nelson and logistics there. And I know that anything that I choose, it will be divine. Yeah, so these are just the things in my mind, and I'm very aware that it's a first world problem, and I'm so grateful to have chosen a career for myself that is location independent, and to have the freedom and flexibility to discern and decide. I know I shared it's not, what I sense and feel is not like a missing, like, oh, reflecting on previous life in Hawaii. It's more of a longing, and for a period of time, if I was to estimate, maybe like the first year that I was away, it was more of a missing. It was more of like, oh, like my Hawaii life in the past, like the way that I did things and the local food that I had, and like the more simple lifestyle, and like less clothing, and just like wearing my bikini, and like the easefulness, the simple life, the minimalism, all of that. When I first moved to the mainland, there was more of like a reflecting like that, remembrance, and a missing. And then I got to a point I was like, I need to let this go. Like, yes, I honor and love that past version of me, such a fucking badass. And she supported me in all of the lessons that I learned on the mainland in Colorado, moving in with my best friend Carly and her husband Castle, and then meeting my friend Rachel and meeting Luke, and all of the goodness that California brought me. Like, there has to be a releasing and an honoring of the past to be able to fully experience the present, and I've done that. And there's this like freaking, what did my friend say the other day? She's like, it's like there's an umbilical cord to you in Hawaii. That is what it feels like. This is a different style video, just kind of like a random chat, something that I would be sharing with a close friend of mine, just rambling. I think that's gonna wrap this up. There's a little voice in my head that's like, this was pointless, nobody cares, like why do you need to share this? And cool, that part, that little sound, that little inner critic, okay, I hear you, you're trying to protect me, keep me safe, and it feels more heart-centered and authentic to share this with you, because the reality is this place has been like a key element, a center stone of this channel, and a lot of what I've shared has come from this place of alignment to this location. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me and yeah, allowing me to process verbally, and I'm very curious if you can resonate in any way, and yeah, what your experience is with being connected to certain locations, or maybe having never felt that before. Whatever it is, I'm curious to hear from you. Let's get this comment section pumping. Let's use this platform and social media as a whole to connect with one another, not just to tune out and to tune in, but to really build and foster connection. We need this now more than ever with everything that's going on in the world. So yeah, I hope hope that you will comment below, and I'm looking forward to reading and responding. And I'm gonna go drive to the other side of the island, first get some coconut water, and then I'm flying out later tonight. So crossing my fingers that the sun is gonna pop out a little brighter so I can go to a white sand beach that I haven't been to on this visit yet, and lay in the sun. Alright, my loves, thank you, I love you, and I'll see you when I'm back in Texas.